At 8:17 tomorrow morning, every loading bar stops. Your phone still has power, the lights are still on, but no message leaves the room. Your card cannot contact your bank, an airline cannot reach its booking system, a hospital cannot open a cloud-hosted patient record. And this time, the internet is not coming back tonight. It will remain down for an entire year. So what would fail first? Social media, online shopping, your ability to work? Those would disappear almost immediately. But they are not the most dangerous losses, because the internet does something much more important than showing us information. It allows millions of organizations to agree on what is happening at the same time. Without it, the first thing we lose is not entertainment. It is certainty. First, we need rules. In this scenario, the global public internet becomes unreachable for 365 days. Electricity remains available at the beginning. Local computers still work. Devices on the same internal network can still communicate. Private radio and isolated industrial systems may continue operating. GPS satellites continue broadcasting, but ordinary internet traffic cannot move between service providers, countries, or public data centers. This is an artificial scenario. The internet is a network made from thousands of independently operated networks. Its critical systems are deliberately distributed, so there is no single global plug to pull. Keeping the whole thing offline for a year would require massive physical damage, coordinated shutdowns, or continuous interference. But assume that somehow it happens. During the first minute, almost nobody understands the scale. People restart their routers, they turn airplane mode on and off, they walk to a window and hold their phone in the air, as though one extra bar might reconnect the planet. Cloud documents stop saving, messaging apps fail, streaming services freeze, remote workers lose access to company systems, smart devices continue performing whatever they can do locally, but their remote controls and cloud features disappear. Voice calls and text messages become unpredictable. Some carriers may keep them operating over isolated infrastructure. Others may lose several services together because modern mobile, home phone, and internet systems often share the same IP-based core. Canada saw a smaller version of this in 2022. A configuration error in the Rogers network interrupted wireless and wireline services for more than 12 million customers. Home internet, mobile service, electronic payments, and even 911 calling were affected. And that outage lasted about 26 hours. Ours has 364 days and 23 hours remaining. By lunchtime, the first queues appear outside banks, supermarkets, and fuel stations. Your money has not vanished. Your bank may still have a perfectly accurate record of your balance inside one of its data centers. The problem is that the shop cannot ask the bank whether your card is valid. Your banking app cannot retrieve your account. Payment networks cannot consistently authorize, compare, and settle transactions across disconnected institutions. Some terminals may permit limited offline payments, but merchants will quickly become cautious. Every offline transaction creates the risk that the customer has insufficient funds, the card is blocked, or the same money is being spent repeatedly. Cash becomes king. For a while, in Australia, more than 3/4 of consumer transactions normally use electronic payment rails. In 2025, cash accounted for only around 15% of payments. The Reserve Bank also found that the cash most people carry would generally cover only a short digital outage. ATMs empty, shops run out of change, employers struggle to distribute wages. Governments have difficulty delivering benefits through normal channels. People begin using handwritten tabs, paper vouchers, and personal promises. Money still exists, but money only functions smoothly when people trust the record, and the record is no longer easy to verify. Cash-only sign, empty ATM, shopkeeper writing customer debt into a paper ledger. Over the next 2 days, radio and broadcast television suddenly become essential again. Governments schedule regular emergency bulletins, newspapers print special editions. Companies send employees, couriers, and physical storage devices between offices. Hospitals do not simply close, they activate downtime procedures. Staff switch to paper forms. Prescriptions are written manually. Laboratory results are delivered by phone, radio, printer, or by a person walking them between departments. But manual medicine is slower. Records become harder to search. Tests may be repeated because previous results cannot be found. Medication histories become more difficult to confirm. Information written in one building may not reach the next. The US Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality warns that electronic health record downtime can create serious safety hazards. In one reviewed set of downtime incidents, almost half involved procedures that were missing or were not followed. Hospitals have backup plans. The danger is that those plans were designed for hours or days, not for a year. Nurses using paper charts, handwritten prescriptions, staff physically carrying lab results. But one familiar piece of modern technology may continue working. The blue location dot. Basic GPS does not need the internet. Your receiver listens directly to signals broadcast by satellites. A device with maps already downloaded could still calculate its position and provide basic directions. What disappears is the information layered on top of that signal. No live traffic, no online address search, no updated road closures, no cloud-based route changes. You can still know where you are. Finding out what is happening there becomes much harder. GPS satellites transmitting to a phone, live traffic colors and search results fading away. You might expect electricity to fail next. Probably not immediately. Power stations, substations and control rooms use a combination of private utility networks, dedicated fiber, radio, microwave links, and commercially provided communication services. The public internet is not the only way grid operators communicate, but the modern grid is increasingly information dependent. Operators monitor substations, coordinate generation, detect faults, and control distributed energy resources using high-speed digital communications. The US Department of Energy says grid communications now use a mixture of private, utility-owned infrastructure and commercial leased infrastructure. Without the public internet, many core systems may continue. Others lose remote visibility or control. Some distributed generators may disconnect automatically when communication fails. Engineers must travel to sites, repairs take longer, operators simplify the grid, and may disconnect less essential loads to protect critical areas. So the first minute does not produce one worldwide blackout, but over weeks and months, local failures, fuel problems, equipment faults, and missing communications become harder to contain. Electricity and communication depend on each other. When one weakens, restoring the other becomes more difficult. By the end of the first week, the most serious problem is no longer communication between people. It is communication between organizations. A supermarket is not just a building filled with food. It is the final point in a network of farms, factories, warehouses, shipping companies, customs agencies, fuel suppliers, payment systems, and scheduling software. The trucks still exist. The roads still exist. The food still exists somewhere. But the system that tells each truck what to collect, where to deliver it, which dock is available, and whether the shipment has been paid for is badly fragmented. In 2017, the NotPetya malware disrupted transport and logistics operations at Maersk. The company reported losses of roughly $250 to $300 million during a comparatively brief incident. That was one company. Now imagine ports, retailers, shipping lines and suppliers around the world attempting to coordinate for an entire year through telephone calls, radio messages, faxes, couriers and paper. Food production would not stop, but variety would collapse. Imported and highly perishable products would become unreliable. Retailers would favor goods that can be sourced, verified and transported locally. Fuel would be rationed in some places, not necessarily because the world had suddenly run out of fuel, but because ordering, payment, allocation, and delivery had become harder. The first major shortage would not always be the product itself. It would be reliable information about where the product is. Containers waiting at ports, warehouse workers using paper lists, trucks at closed loading gates, supermarket shelves becoming unevenly stocked. No reliable study can tell us the exact cost of a worldwide year-long outage because nothing comparable has ever happened. And multiplying the cost of a short shutdown by 365 would be misleading. The damage would accelerate, change form, and trigger adaptations. But smaller events show that the effect would be enormous. The OECD estimated that Egypt's 5-day internet shutdown in 2011 caused approximately $90 million in direct economic costs, and that figure excluded indirect damage to industries such as tourism and call centers. In our scenario, online retail disappears. Cloud software becomes inaccessible. International financial markets fragment. Advertising platforms, digital media, software subscriptions, and much of the modern service economy stop functioning normally. Factories do not immediately forget how to manufacture products. They slow because suppliers, orders, shipping documents, and payments can no longer be coordinated at normal speed. This would almost certainly produce a severe global economic contraction, but any exact percentage would be speculation. Then something unexpected happens. The internet begins to return. Not the global internet we recognize. At first, it appears as thousands of separate islands. A university reconnects its buildings through a local network. A city creates an internal information service. A hospital group links nearby facilities with dedicated fiber or radio. Banks construct private connections between major branches. Communities distribute news, maps, and reference material through local servers. Files travel by motorcycle, truck, and train on hard drives. People jokingly call it the sneakernet because the data moves at the speed of someone carrying it. Radio operators relay messages. Printed directories list working services. Bulletin boards return to shopping centers. Broadcast television delivers school lessons and government announcements. Life does not return to the Stone Age. It resembles the 1980s, operating with modern machines, modern knowledge, and a missing global coordination layer. The effects are also unequal. Places with local food, energy, manufacturing, technical expertise, and strong public institutions adapt better. Communities dependent on distant supply chains or cloud-hosted services face greater difficulty. And although more than 2 billion people were not online in 2025, that does not mean they would be untouched. Their banks, governments, employers, and suppliers may still depend on connected systems. As the months pass, countries build larger regional networks. Some are open, others are tightly controlled. Governments decide who receives priority access. Essential industries obtain dedicated links. New identification systems and paper credentials appear. Local currencies, vouchers, and ration cards supplement conventional payments. Scientific cooperation slows. International education becomes difficult. News travels less evenly, making misinformation harder to correct. But society also becomes highly skilled at operating offline. Companies maintain printed procedures. Hospitals keep synchronized paper records. Warehouses standardize manual ordering. Governments create radio and broadcast channels that can operate independently. The result is not complete collapse. It is a poorer, slower, and more local civilization. The hardware of the 21st century remains. What is missing is the invisible layer that allowed the hardware to cooperate globally. And now we reach the paradox. Keeping the internet down for a year may be harder than surviving without it. Because the internet is not Google, social media, or a collection of data centers. It is an agreement between networks. The moment two local networks establish a connection and exchange packets, they have created an internetwork. Connect enough of those islands, and the internet is returning. It may be slower, it may be fragmented, it may not contain your old accounts or favorite platforms. But it is an internet, so a full year without one would require more than a failure. A year without the internet would reveal that civilization is not merely addicted to screens. It is dependent on shared, synchronized information. Food, money, electricity, and medicine may still exist. The internet helps us agree on where they are, who needs them, and what should happen next. Which system should have the strongest genuine offline backup? Payments, hospitals, food distribution, or emergency communication? Tell us in the comments. And subscribe for more big questions answered.